Hi, welcome to Always Games TV. I'm Roger Knowles, and this is episode 10 of the Always Games TV podcast. I am joined by absolutely no one this week. Due to unforeseen circumstances, Tom Simpson and Daniel Twist were unavailable to join me on this episode of the podcast. So you have the privilege of listening to me waffle on to myself about what's happened in the news. Giving you a rundown what I've been playing this week before we get into the news. I actually did a video for the Always Games TV website and for the YouTube channel, a game which is called Space Engineers, which has just been released on early access on the Steam page. I think it came out yesterday. I believe I actually said on the video that I thought the early access was going to be £9.99. I think it's actually £12.99, which is a little bit more than I was expecting to be. Just due to normal sort of prices wise, I thought it would be a little bit less than that. Also, I think the actual how much it is over in America is slightly more. No, sorry, rephrase that. Or what it is, the price over in America, I think, is actually you're getting a better deal over there than you are over here. I think it's like I think it's actually $13.99. I'll have to double check that. But the actual ratio of how much it's actually being reduced by due to currency exchange isn't quite right. It looks like the UK has been screwed a little bit with that. But oh well. Anyway, so I did a video for that, the early access. I managed to pick it up last week, and they did a special early access where basically they were allowing fans who were looking forward to the release of the early access on Steam to have a chance to pick it up slightly earlier than normal. So for about, I think it was 3-hour window, they allowed you to purchase the game and have a little go, mainly because I think they decided that there wasn't that many bugs within the game, and it was at a point that they could actually release it and they were happy with, which is good news. It's not often that you hear that from a lot of developers, where usually get pushed to release it a little bit too early and it's not in a state that should be presented to the public. But no, I've got to admit, it's good fun. I quite enjoy it. It's almost, if you haven't seen it, or if you have no idea what the hell I'm on about, it's very Minecraft-esque, I guess, mainly because due to the building and the creativity aspect to it. Imagine you will, if you're in space, you're a astronaut of sorts, you're a space engineer, and you are given tools to be able to build a spaceship, or a very large spaceship, or a space aircraft. I said aircraft in the actual video for some reason. A spacecraft, but a fighter, I guess. And also the ability to be able to make a space station or a asteroid sort of station. It's made in very basic form at this present moment, but what they are wanting to do, it shows off a lot of the potential and how creative people are starting to get, and they're starting to think outside the box, and possibly I think it's going to become something which I'm very excited to see, especially when they implement multiplayer. At the present moment, it's still, like I say, it's in an alpha. There isn't a lot of the features which they're hoping to implement over this next few months to a year are not there. For example, you at some point going to have to use a welder to be able to build your ship up, a grinder and all that sort of thing to be able to build the blocks up. They are actually in the game. They're there to be used. However, you can't actually use them. They're just there. So that eventually, as the time goes on, they're probably going to flick the switch with that and turn those on. Other than that, I've been playing a little bit of Flashback again. I'm hopefully trying to try and get a review of Flashback up shortly. I'm presently just ordered some green screening for my editorial room, and I am going to properly show my face on camera. I've done it a few times on some of my videos, but have a proper background and make it look a little bit more high quality of videos. So hopefully a Flashback review will be coming sometime in the future. I was a big fan of Flashback actually when I was younger, because it came out in 1993 and I had it on the Super Nintendo. Yeah, it was definitely Super Nintendo, and my brother purchased it and sort of just threw it on top of the game pile that we had, and I don't think he was overly bothered about it, but I didn't even realise it was there, and sort of popped it in and had a go, and I just got hooked. And that was, I'm trying to think how back as that's 18 years ago now then, if it came out in 1993 on 17, oh no, it'll be 20 years ago. Wow. I suddenly feel very old. So yeah, it actually came out a long time ago, a lot longer than I thought. I didn't realize it was that long ago. But it was a game when I was very young. I got hooked. I didn't actually complete it though. I actually got hooked. I got stuck, but I was very hooked into the game, and I remember being so frustrated why I couldn't complete it. It was a very hard game back then, and I guess maybe as time's gone on, I've got better at gaming. Anyway, hopefully you'll be able to see my full review in the next few weeks. Plus, it's going to be my first review, and I wanted to start with a game that I felt comfortable with, and not start with a AAA title. So yeah, hopefully it'll be okay and everything will come to plan and you'll be able to see the review sometime soon. Trying to think what else. I've been having a little bit of a bash again on DayZ with Tom and Jamie. Tom obviously is quite usually on the podcast with me, and Jamie's been was on the first ever AlwayzGamezTV podcast. It was the first game we all properly started to play together online, and it was one we sort of got together and did quite often, and we've started going back and playing a couple of different versions of it, different adjustments to the mod of DayZ. I can't remember the name of the one we were actually playing, but it has a lot more vehicles, and basically we were starting to get a little bit bored of the constant survival of the traditional DayZ mod and not being able to find any vehicles, and we just wanted something to spice things up a little bit. And like I said, there's a lot more weapons and military gear, and there's a few extra buildings here and there as well, which make it a little bit more interesting. Zombie noises are different, and it just makes it a little bit more, I guess, unrealistic, I guess, but more fun, and a lot more chaos can be come about it. Trying to think what else I've been playing. GTA Online, of course. Been playing a little bit more of that, getting as much money as I can. I need to check back on there because, like I mentioned in the last AlwayzGamezTV podcast, that Rockstar will be eventually sending 500,000 in-game dollars for you to get on your characters, basically to say sorry for the problems of the launch of the online of the GTA. So I built up about 80,000, I think, dollars, and I've spent it all on gun upgrades, just knowing that money's on its way. Rockstar was sending me, because I thought, well, I might as well use that money they're sending me to buy a massive garage or a really nice apartment, and the money that I've earned, really, I could just spend straight away. I don't really need to save it. So I've been upgrading a few things on that. But yeah, I've got to admit, that's a game which I think you can keep going back to and playing a little bit more of it. The online version is well, it's online, it's multiplayer, isn't it? But you definitely, you can't play it on your own. The enjoyment is there to be played with others. Don't expect to go on the online on your own and expect an amazing experience, because in the end it is an online multiplayer, and that's what it's meant to be used as. I think I've noticed a few comments on the internet where I think people have been playing it on their own and a little bit disappointed with it. And in the end, you can't play something in a way that is not meant to be played and expect to enjoy it to its full capacity. The single player is for playing on your own, and the multiplayer is when your friends come online. But yeah, it's good fun. I'm really enjoying it. I'm looking forward to getting this extra cash, and I've built to buy a really nice apartment. Other than that, I haven't really been playing much else. I've been trying to sort out a few things with the website and moving it out a little bit. There's probably a few things that you can't really notice. It's more in the background and little tweaks, just trying to make everything a little bit more smoother and easier for me to adjust on the fly and make quick adjustments without having to go through ages and ages of tweaks and just general time-consuming tasks. Just trying to make everything a lot easier, basically. Also making it easier for you guys to be able to find things. There's still a long way to go. The website is still in very basic form. It's coming together steadily. I do this basically part-time, so it's coming together very, very slowly. And other than that, oh yeah, and don't forget also, I've got there's Daniel. His nickname is Frog. We've got two Daniels actually on the AlwayzGamezTV crew. We've got Daniel Twist and then Daniel. Daniel, aka Frog, isn't comfortable with his second name being mentioned, so we just call him Frog. He's been writing an article on Pokemon, X and Y, and he's been doing a continuous article where he's been writing down his experiences as each day and how and what he thinks to it, and whether or not his opinions have changed, and also giving you a few hints along the way of what he's discovered and some of the new features which have appeared in X and Y. A lot of the internet things he seems to be very impressed with. But presently the only articles up on the website are day 1 and day 2. Give them a look if you're interested, because I don't actually have a 3DS, and I'm absolutely gutted because I really want to have a go on the Pokemon X and Y. I was a big fan of the originals, actually, Blue and Yellow. Obviously Blue came first and then Yellow came after it, but I was always a first generation Pokemon fan alongside the TV series. I was a big fan of that as well. As time's gone on with the other generations, it's my interest has waned considerably. It's just, I guess it was all the other games and I guess the TV series as well, they were just remashes of the same thing, and I got a little bit bored of it. But with the new X and Y, it seems, at least reading these articles, I'm starting to understand that they really have taken on board a lot of the technology which is available these days, especially, like I said, the features on the internet. And it's no longer a single player game where the only time that you can ever play with someone else if you link up using the cable or the infrared thing that they implemented with the I think it was the Color, Game Boy Color. So it's now with the internet features, you're constantly connected to everyone. I guess that's the internet in general, but it certainly opens up games such as the classics, which have been remade or a new version have been released, but they can add all these extra features which open up the world, and you can basically do trading online, which is crazy to think that you can actually get a Pokemon that you're wanting quite early on, as long as you've seen it in the game. And that, I think, is absolutely fantastic, and I'm just gutted that I can't play it. And yeah, I think it's certainly one which eventually, once I can afford it, like with next month with the PlayStation 4 coming around, I haven't pre-ordered it yet, but I probably will be getting one not long after launch, all being well. But I've got that, and plus I'm probably going to want to pick up a Vita at some point after I get a PlayStation 4, seeing that the compatibility with the two seems quite interesting. But then, obviously, I want to get 3DS as well, and I'm just unfortunately not made of money. But I'm looking forward to having a bash at that. Or I might just go around to Frog's house and just pester him and let him have a go. Let me have a go. But other than that, guys, I will crack on with the news. And once again, I do apologise that nobody else is with me, and hopefully you don't get too bored listening to my voice. And I'm really going to need to grab a drink because my voice is already starting to go and my throat's getting sore. Anyway, let's crack on with the news. Okay, I've got my drink, and let's go with the first news story. This is actually from the BBC website. As a lot of you might already have heard, that Watch Dogs has been delayed till spring of next year. Watch Dogs was going to be a launch title for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. It was also coming out on the PS3, PC and Xbox 360, and I think it was coming out on the Wii U as far as I remember. But unfortunately, due to time constraints, the Ubisoft have mentioned that it's just not in a state to be released yet, and they will only release it once it's ready and in a state that they are happy with. And you can't really knock a company for saying that, because like I said before, a lot of companies seem to release games which are just clearly not ready, and I think that's fantastic that they've taken the step and they've basically bitten the bullet and said, no, screw it, we're not going to release a game too early. But unfortunately, due to the delay, the shares within Ubisoft have slumped by 26%, as it says on the BBC website, which is a shame. I guess they're going to take a hit for this. It's going to cost them a lot of money to because basically the idea is that when they announce a release date, they are working towards that. All their marketing, everything is going towards that date, and when they've changed that a month before, well, just less than a month actually, before the actual release, it's going to cost them a fair bit of money. So it must really have not been in a state at all to be relaunched, because they wouldn't have done this otherwise. And I guess you can't knock it, but the only thing is that people's expectations are now going to be higher than they were before, because it's like dangling a carrot in front of a donkey. It's gonna really want it, and then you're gonna tease it, and then you're gonna take it away from it. It's gonna want it even more. So that's a weird metaphor, actually. Anyway, so yeah, I think every expectations of this game is high anyway. But doing this it's just gonna make them skyrocket. So Ubisoft are gonna make sure that they get this right on release. It's also made me start thinking whether or not I want to get a PlayStation 4 on release, or an Xbox One in that matter. I probably wouldn't have picked up an Xbox One anyway on launch. I will probably eventually pick one up, but once again, money situations. I'm just looking through it and going, what games are there? Obviously, we've got Killzone for the PlayStation 4, and everybody keeps mentioning Titanfall for the Xbox One, but that's not coming until next spring as well. So it seems that I think there's going to be a bit of a lackluster sort of launch with some of the games. It's not going to be overly amazing, and the only other game that I really was looking for is Destiny, but that's not coming until summer next year. So it looks like 2014 is going to be really... We're going to get some of the bigger hitting titles for the next gen consoles. It's a shame. I am gutted that Watch Dogs isn't available. One of my actually Frog, who I mentioned earlier, who's written the Pokemon written the Pokemon articles for AlwayzGamezTV. He mentioned that he was looking through the Argos catalogue, and they've got the wrong dates now, because obviously it was going to come out next year. So everything that's everywhere that's already been pre-printed is out of date now, because everything was prepared to come out next. The Watch Dogs were prepared to come out next month, so all that's wrong. So they're going to have to make adjustments for that. It's going to cost Ubisoft a fair bit of money to do this adjustments, but again, I'm going to tip my hat to them and say, listen, if they don't think it's ready, it's not ready. And I wish a lot of other games companies would actually turn around and say the game isn't ready. No, we are not going to launch it. BioWare and Star Wars: The Old Republic. But anyway, let's move on to the next news story. The next one, actually, I spoke about earlier. I've been playing a bit of GTA Online. The next story is about that Rockstar are going to make a few adjustments to GTA Online, and that is going to be for the repeated missions. The adjustment is basically, once you have completed a mission online for the first time, you'll get the full stack of money for the reward of that game. However, if you repeat that mission, you will then only get, I think it's half? Yes, half the money after that point of the first completion. So you're not going to get as much money repeating the same missions. They're saying that the reason why they're going to do this is to push people to go do different sorts of missions in GTA Online and not just focus on one. And also the other reason was that they said that once someone's completed the mission for the first time, they know how it works out, so they get better at it and get better, and they don't want to keep people start farming missions over and over again just to get as much cash. They want them to branch them out a little bit and force people to go into areas that they're not maybe as comfortable with as they usually are. You can't knock Rockstar for this if it encourages people to experience more of the actual online of the GTA. And I think that sometimes what can be wrong with some MMOs, people find a section where they get lots of coins, cash, gold, whatever you want to call it, and farm it over and over and over and over again just to get more and more. And if they did actually hinder people from doing it, so it stops you from farming it, then there's nothing wrong with that. In other news with Rockstar as well, there was I've got to make sure I get this right. Rockstar New England apparently working on a next version of a famous IP, and this was picked up on the, I hope I say this right, LinkedIn page. So basically, it's been mentioned that Rockstar New England is working on a famous IP. What famous IP that is, I don't know. I do have some theories and some suggestions. I'm thinking possibly Bully could be one of them, because that was the last rendition of that came out. Well, it was the only one actually came out on PlayStation 2 and PC. Possibly a Red Dead, but again, that hasn't been that long ago when that came out. It hasn't even come to PC yet, so I don't know. I've been noticing a few people on the internet have been saying maybe Midnight Club. But I don't think it's as big of a franchise or an IP for them to work on. Again, if I was them, I'd be working on either Red Dead or Bully. Another one, actually, someone else I noticed said in one of the comments on one of the websites was maybe possibly another Max Payne, but that again didn't come out that long ago. So I wouldn't surprise me if they maybe left it for another year or two until they release another Max Payne. So I'm putting my money on either Bully, and if not Bully, it's going to be Red Dead. And either one of those I'll be happy with, because I loved Red Dead. I thought it was amazing. I got really into it. I'm a big fan of the old westerns with John Wayne and everything like that. That's mainly due to my father. But if not, that would say like probably Bully. I never actually ever played Bully. It was a game that passed me by. I heard some good stuff about it. It's probably a game I should probably go back to have a go at, actually, just for pure curiosity, because a lot of people did seem to like it and got really on with it. It had a bit of a bad media press over here in the UK, so they had to call it another name, and I can't remember the name off the top of my head. Something the Academy. But yeah, it's nice to know that Rockstar are not just focusing on GTA, they're going to be moving on again with another game. In other news, I noticed that on the Titanfall fan Twitter page, they were teasing an announcement for Titanfall, and I honestly thought it was going to be the announcement of the beta and the date of the beta, but I was wrong. It was actually the announcement of the launch date, which I guess is not bad. You know, if we're going to get the beta, at least we've got a launch date. So the Titanfall will be launching March the 11th, 2014. It's a game that I'm very disappointed at this present moment will not be coming to PlayStation 4. It's whether it will become to PlayStation 4, I don't know. There was actually a comment on Cinema Blend on the game section. There's an article up where apparently they spotted a comment which made on Reddit. One of the, I think it was Major Nelson on the official Xbox One Reddit thread, was asked as about the exclusivity of Titanfall to Xbox One, and his reply was, as far as being exclusive, that's really a question for Titanfall. I'm not worried about it though. So he hasn't actually confirmed whether or not they have got full exclusivity. Exclusivity, is that right word? Yeah. All the time for Xbox One. Whether or not this is a timed exclusive, nothing has been said. He hasn't turned around and said, no, it's just for us, or yes, it's just for us, or no, we haven't got full exclusivity all the time. He sort of like dodges around that by just saying, I won't be worried. It's very vague, so which makes me have a slight feeling it could at some point come across to the PlayStation 4, which I am extremely happy with if that is the case. It seems to be like we're going on about how the Titanfall is going to be the Call of Duty killer, which again I'm very happy with, because as much as Call of Duty is great, I have all the Call of Duties, I play them on multiplayer. A lot of time I don't really bother with campaigns. I like the split screen aspect of it now with local split screen and playing online. We have I have great LAN parties set up with my friends and everything like that. It's good fun, but the only problem is I'm a little bit bored of it now. It's been going on for too long. Something needs to take over. Medal of Honor was before that. It did exactly the same, started getting a bit repetitive, same thing, same again. Then Call of Duty came in, took over. I loved Call of Duty Modern Warfare. It was one of my favourite games back on the on PS3 when that was up and going. I thought it was fantastic. I really enjoyed it. I loved it. I'm just a bit bored of it now, and I think Titanfall could be the one that spices up the first-person shooter genre once again. But I just hope it is going to come to PlayStation 4. I really do. But so we've got an announcement for the Xbox One 360 and the PC release, which will be March 11th. I probably will pick up on the PC, but so at least we've got that. But unfortunately, no news about the beta as of yet. My last article actually is more of an amusing article. I spotted this yesterday, and this is actually on the Game Breaker TV website, and the title is used: 64-year-old woman sues NCSoft over a $28,000 virtual sword. I was like, what? Apparently, this is in the MMO lineage, and apparently the sword was worth around about $28,000, which is ridiculous. And that's real game. That's real money, not in-game money. That's real money. $28,000. A virtual sword. I'm getting the World of Warcraft episode from, on South Park, where they get the sword and they have the USB stick. It's just that. It's in my head. Or the Big Bang Theory, where they have the sword of Azeroth. It's just, this is ridiculous. I'll just give you a rundown. Apparently, this 64-year-old woman was going to try and enchant the sword and failed and destroyed it. And yeah, so basically she said that she did it as a mistake and she wanted NCSoft to refund it or return the sword back to her. And they said no, so she's taken it to the courts, and the courts have ruled in favour with NCSoft. Apparently she was trying to do it with enchant numerous other quite rare items, and again a few of them were breaking, so they had all the data catalogue on the actual game of what she was up to. So she did it on purpose. She didn't break it on purpose, but she was trying to enchant it on purpose, but yet she said it was a mistake. She didn't mean to enchant that item. Anyway, she's failed. It hasn't gone through, and NCSoft have won. But what this thing is ridiculous is $28,000. I just can't comprehend why you would want to spend that amount of money on a virtual sword. I guess, yeah, I can understand spending money, small amounts of money, with microtransactions for possibly cosmetics, or like with the GTA Online. I don't mind the idea of them having to spend money for in-game money. That's fine, whatever. Do what you want. But $28,000? I'm gobsmacked. I would never do such a thing. And if someone's got that amount of money just to spend, then fair enough. You know, just not actually blink an eye. That's fair enough. Good on them. Yeah, just if you know, I'll draw a sword if they wish to spend $28,000. It's basically me drawing a picture of a sword and charging someone $28,000 for it. It's really rare. It's the only one. It's the only image of it. Anyway, I'm going to give you a quick rundown of UK top 10 charts, and let's crack on. So I'll give you a rundown on the UK top 10 charts. At number 10 is Disney Infinity. At number 9 is Just Dance 2014. At number 8 is F1 2013. At number 7 is Minecraft Xbox 360 Edition. At number 6 is Beyond Two Souls. At number 5 is Pokemon Y. At number 4 is Pokemon X. At number 3 is Skylanders at Swap Force. At number 2 is FIFA 14. And at number 1, still holding again, is Grand Theft Auto 5. Looks like Grand Theft Auto 5, as much as it got knocked off for 1 week by FIFA 14 on FIFA 14's release week, it seems to be taking the mantle and holding it at number 1. New in, of course, was Skylanders Swap Force. But other than that, there's nothing really new happening. The only game that actually did move up the charts was Minecraft Xbox 360 Edition, which was last week at number 8, and it's moved up 1 place. Let's look at what's going to come up in the next. Well, actually, tomorrow we have got the release of Batman Arkham Origins on the PC, PS3, Xbox 360, and Wii U. Also, we've got Batman Arkham Origins Blackgate coming out on the PlayStation Vita and 3DS. I am actually quite looking forward to these games. I think it was like a few other games that have been released this last month. I haven't been getting overly giddy for them. But as it's got closer and closer to the date, I'm looking at them going, yeah, actually, that could be quite a good game. And I liked Batman Arkham Asylum. And I just wasn't a big fan of Arkham City, though. It was okay. It was alright. But it didn't seem to have everything I liked what was in the first one. There's something about the first one which really sort of hit the nail on the head. But I'm looking forward to this Arkham Origins. It's not made by Rocksteady Studios. I can't remember the actual company that's making it this time, but it's made by a different one. I've got a feeling that Rocksteady Studios are going to release another Batman game for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One next year. That'll be interesting to see, but I think it looks pretty good. It'd be interesting to have a little bash on it, actually. So you can pick that up tomorrow. Coming out on the 1st of November is Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. And again, it's another one which I haven't really been looking forward to until it's starting to get closer to the date. And I'm, again, looking at some of the images. I've been pulled in very much by the TV adverts. It does look pretty cool. I think it all depends whether or not I get a PlayStation 4, whether or not I get that. I know you can buy the PS3 version and then upgrade to the PlayStation 4 version for a limited time. But if I'm going to get it, I just might as well get it straight for the PlayStation 4. That's another one I'm looking forward to. Battlefield 4 is coming out as well on the 1st of November. Obviously, the beta's out at this present moment. It's going to be another one which is going to be interesting. I probably will buy that over Call of Duty this year, which is coming out on the 5th of November. Whether or not, like I say, I will definitely buy Battlefield 4. Call of Duty, it really does depend on what my friends are doing when it comes down to it. If they buy it and they're playing a lot online and they're like, they have word with me, say, listen, come on, Roger, get online, we'll have a bash, you know, multiplayer, blah, 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 then I probably might pick it up eventually. I won't be rushing. Again, I think I've stopped with the campaigns now for Call of Duty. I loved the first one in Modern Warfare. It wasn't the first Call of Duty, but it was the first Modern Warfare. Loved the single player campaign. That was really good, very gripping story. Since then, however, they just, yeah, no, I'm not bothered. I'm not bothered at all. I'll quite happily wait for the price reduction for that. Other than that, I think that's about it. What I've got planned for, like I said, I'm going to try and do a review for Flashback. Get that sorted once the green screen arrives and I have a play around with it and see if it works. Hopefully Tom's going to be making a Space Engineers video, all being well, so that might be going up. I think it's just going to be a case of building up towards the launch of PS4 and Xbox One. I think it's going to be more news stories coming out. That keep checking back on the website. We've got the Pokemon article from Frog Day 3 coming up, hopefully either tomorrow or Saturday. Number 4 is not going to be far behind that. Hopefully, all being well, number 5 maybe next week. Don't forget to check us out on Twitter. We're always tweeting. Check out all the good stuff. Get following us on there to keep up to date with what's happening on AlwayzGamezTV. We have a Facebook page. Don't forget to like us on there to keep updated on what's going on. Keep checking back, like I said, at the website, which is www.alwayzgamestavcom. Also, if you listen to this on YouTube, don't forget to like, subscribe, or comment. That's if you want to, of course. If you don't want to, fair enough. But everything that you do and just that one little click of like, a comment, or subscribe will really help us push out AlwayzGamezTV out just a little bit further. Don't forget also, we're also on iTunes. If you want to listen to our podcast on the go, so you don't have to be stuck to your computer, go ahead. You can download it there straight to your iPod, your iPhone, whichever device you like to use. If we haven't received a review on iTunes at all for our podcast, if you'd like to be the first person to give us a review, please go ahead. Like I said, everything you do will push out AlwayzGamezTV out a little bit further. If you've got any feedback, we haven't had a single person give us any feedback to our podcasts. If you have a question for us, go ahead, tweet us a question at AlwayzGamezTV. Send us a Facebook question at facebook.com/AlwayzGamezTV. Anything we'll just ask us a question. If you would like anything to be read out on the show, go ahead, just give us some feedback. If there's anything you'd like to hear us more of, if you liked, like we did last week, we did a quiz, if you want to hear some more of those, let us know. Other than that, guys, thank you so much for listening to me waffle on my own. I'm sorry that there's nobody else here to join me, and I hope you haven't got too bored. I will speak to you in 2 weeks' time. Thanks very much, guys, and I'll speak to you later.